Hello students, we have already learned about interference of light, its theory, and what will be the condition of maxima and minima, and also we have about fringe width. And we have seen that fringes were equally spaced, means we will get alternate dark and bright fringes which are equally spaced. So that was the theory of interference of light, and I have told you one example which have proved the interference of light and how did we make coherent light sources. That was the Young's double slit experiment. Okay, there are a lot of experiments that we have made interferometer for especially for getting the interference, diffraction and other phenomena, and in which we can use also laser light and other lights. Okay, so interferometer was basically made up for getting the interference pattern and diffraction pattern also. So today we are going to learn about diffraction of light. So what is the diffraction of light? From the word it is clear that diffraction means deviation from its path. Simple. See this thing. If any light wave after hitting to any obstacle or after passing from any obstacle, it goes diffracted at some angle or in the geometrical shadow region. So firstly see this word geometrical shadow region. So what is geometrical shadow region? So the geometrical shadow region is a geometrical region where normally if we are not using any obstacle, then normally light can't reach there. Like if you are using any torch to see anything, and if there is no obstacle in the path of this, then definitely the light will go this path and you will see the obstacle or a screen or anything, observer, you can see anything. But if there is something between the light path, then definitely light will go to change its direction and at some angle, and definitely the part which were not visible in when there was no obstacle, now we can see that part also. So now if there is a small hole, narrow hole in our home, then definitely when sunlight coming outside, then we see that light from that narrow hole, light is entering and light is means things are visible in that region normally which are not visible. So this is the case. Diffraction is nothing, only the bending of beam, only the bending of light beam when there is some obstacle in the light path. So this is also a kind of interference. If you have you are clearly learned about interference, then definitely diffraction is nothing. It is also a type of interference. The only difference is that here we put an obstacle to get light in also geometrical shadow region also. Means we are going to bend light from its original path, and if we will bend light from its original path, then definitely light will also interfere. Same theory is here, only there will be the difference in the path width. Nothing. There will be only the path difference of lambda by 2. I will show it to you. But firstly, see what is the diffraction of light. So simply in one word, if I want to say, then diffraction of light is the bending of light beam. If light beam will bend from edges of any obstacle, then it is called diffraction of light. And if you want to say in some higher physics, like also diffraction is a type of interference which interference in which superposition of light waves takes place after coming from any obstacle's edge. Means for the diffraction of light, it is necessary to put any obstacle in the path of light wave. if you will not put any obstacle, then it will simply you will get interference of light. If you will put obstacle in the path, you will get bending of light, and at that time you will get diffraction of light. So I think this is clear to you. Diffraction is nothing but a type of interference in which we put simply an obstacle, some resistance in the path of light waves, and due to that resistance light beam goes bend out at the edges of that obstacle. Clear? Now what there are definitely two types of diffraction, and this also depends on the types of sources. As you know that we have distant sources, and we can also put light sources at some definite distance. So this is the class of that types of diffraction. First class is Fresnel class diffraction. This is the name of scientists Fresnel and Fraunhofer, who worked for getting diffraction pattern for light source at finite distance and for light source at infinite distance. So Fresnel firstly did experiment when there is some definite distance between light source and screen and this obstacle. Means we can easily measure the distance between light source and obstacle and screen. Means all these things are at some definite distance. Like in our laboratory we use this. We put light source at some definite distance on a table or on a platform, and obstacle and this screen. Okay, clear? Second class is Fraunhofer class diffraction. So Fraunhofer actually studied about stellar bodies, light coming from stellar bodies like stars and other bodies. So what will be the diffraction pattern when we use light from distant sources? Means the distance between screen, obstacle and sources will not be definite. It will be at infinite distance, and we can't measure the distance of light source from the obstacle or from the screen. Clear? This is only two class of diffraction depending upon the distance of the source from obstacle or screen. So there are a lot of experiments in this class and in this class also. Like in Fresnel diffraction, we have also diffraction at single slit, double slit, and these types of experiment. In Fraunhofer class, we have also light diffraction at circular aperture, diffraction due to slit, diffraction due to double slit, these types of things. So theory is the same. In diffraction, we have to use also coherent sources which must have same frequency. Means the condition of interference will follow here also. We must need that condition to get diffraction pattern. I've already told you that diffraction is nothing but only a type of interference in which we are using we are using an extra thing, which is an obstacle or a resistance which we have put in the path of light wave. So I think this is clear. That's why all the theories of interference or all the conditions for to get interference fringes will automatically apply to the theory of diffraction of light. There is only one difference. When light waves bend out from edges of any light sources, then there will be additional path difference. There will be additional path difference of lambda by 2 between primary and secondary waves. In the interference, we have no such types of thing. Means if we don't put any obstacle in the path of light waves, then definitely we will get no additional path difference between light waves which are coming to the source and or which are interfering. But in this case, due to this obstacle, fringes were shift also, and there will be some additional path difference due to obstacle which are put into the path of light waves. So that is clear to you, and I will definitely define or definitely explain you the theory of diffraction also, and it's like the same as the interference of light. So let's see that. So now let's study about diffraction of light at a single slit. So there are a lot of examples, a lot of experiments about the diffraction of light, as we have two class of diffraction, Fresnel class and Fraunhofer class. And obviously for Fresnel class there is light sources are at definite distance, and for Fraunhofer it's at indefinite distance or infinite distance. So I'm taking the class of it. You can do this experiment both for Fresnel class and Fraunhofer class. So for this I have told about diffraction of light at a single slit. So we are using one slit here as an obstacle through which light will get bent out, means we will get diffraction of light. Obviously if we will put some obstacle in the path of light source, then at the edges of this obstacle light will get bent out, light will be diffracted at some angle theta. And after diffraction of light, if there will be interference between them, then definitely we will get some interference pattern which we call diffraction pattern in this case, due to this obstacle only. Okay. So for the experiment, we have taken a source of light which is monochromatic, obviously, because this is the condition of interference. So to make it parallel, we used a lens L1, and we draw a primary wavefront WW dash due to all secondary disturbances sent out from this source at any time t, which are all in same phase. Obviously after passing through all the points of this wavefront will act as new sources or secondary wavelets, and they will send again secondary disturbances. This is all the actually theory is same as the theory of Young's double slit experiment, means all these points will send secondary wavelets, and those secondary wavelets will get interfere and they will give interference pattern. I've already explained that, so I'm not going to do that here. So after passing from this primary wavefront, light will go to this point, at the edges of this obstacle. So definitely there will be so many waves. Light waves are is getting diffracted at the angle theta, and this is the wave which when diffracted. So definitely we will get some waves which will not diffracted, and some waves which will bend out at some angle. So I am taking only two waves. One wave is this, and second wave which are diffracted at angle theta. Okay. So the waves which is not diffracted, definitely it will go out. And again for the interference we used a lens L2 to confine the wave, to conserve the wave. So let these all waves meet at point O, means when these waves will interfere, then definitely there will be some interference pattern, and again we will see that the point will be the point of central maxima. And the second wave which is at angle theta will let us suppose it will meet at point P on the screen. This is our screen. Clear? Okay. So definitely at point P we will get either maxima or minima depending upon the condition of maxima or minima. Okay. Here one thing you should note that I have already told that there will be some additional path difference due to this obstacle. If we will put any obstacle in the path of light wave, then definitely there will be an additional path difference of lambda by 2. It is experimentally proved. I am not going to prove it here. I am only using this theory here. if we will use any obstacle in the path of light, then there will be additional path difference of lambda by 2. So easily, as this is all the case of diffraction, so what will be the difference? There will be only one difference, then there will be additional path difference of lambda by 2. So we have already know about the if we will get maxima if the path difference will be even multiple of lambda by 2 in case of interference. Means if the path difference is equal to even multiple of lambda by 2, then we will maxima. I am talking about the case of interference. And if the path difference will be odd multiple of lambda by 2, then we will get minima. But in this case, we have to do one thing. We have to add this lambda by 2 in the path difference of light. You can also add it here, lambda by 2. When you will add it, then definitely there will be some additional path difference and the condition will be inverted. So let's see how. Means in this case, for maxima there will be odd multiple of lambda by 2, and for minima there will be even multiple of lambda by 2 only due to this additional path difference. So what is the path difference? Geometrically we can get it from here. Let's see. To get the path difference, I have drawn a normal on this wave AD. Okay. So this will be the BD, will be the path difference between these two waves. Means one wave is this and the second wave is this. Then definitely there will be some additional path which we covered by point B to reach at point P. So what will be the additional path? To get this, I have drawn a normal on this wave, and definitely the path difference will be BD. This is the additional path, this is extra path traveled by light from B to P. Okay, clear? So we can use trigonometrical form here. We have already D, this will be the theta, and we have to find out this only BD. So see how we can get it. I think I can erase it. Okay. See, in this triangle, if we will take sine theta, so what will be the sine theta? Sine theta will be BD upon AB. Means BD upon what is the AB? AB is separation between these two slits, and which is D. This implies that BD is D sine theta. This is the path difference occurred between two waves which are meet at point P. So we have already find out the these things, means find out path difference. Now we can apply the condition of maxima and minima upon it, because I have already told in diffraction there is the case of interference, light waves are interfering, so we can apply the already the theory of interference on it. We don't have to derive it here. Then what will be the condition of maxima or minima? Now let's see what is the condition of maxima and minima. Condition for maxima. As you know that in case of interference, the condition of maxima is path difference must be equal to even multiple of lambda by 2. Clear? This is the condition of maxima in case of simply interference. In case of diffraction, due to addition of obstacle in the path of light, we get lambda by 2 additional path difference. So you can add it here for the case of diffraction, and you will get the condition for maxima directly. So as we have calculated path difference from the figure, which is d sine theta, and if you will solve that, you will get 2n plus 1 lambda by 2. It means for the maxima, we have condition that path difference must be equal to odd multiple of lambda by 2. This is only the inverted condition of in case of interference, where n can be 0, 1, 2, means for n equal to 0 we will get central maxima. because central for n equal to 0 we will get a point O in the figure. If you have point figure, then see that point O will be the point of maxima, and this is called central maxima. And for n equal to 1 we will get first order maxima or first order bright diffraction pattern. For n equal to 2 you will get second order diffraction pattern, and so on. Clear? Similarly, for minima we can also derive condition. Since we know that for the case of interference the condition of minima is path difference must be equal to odd multiple of lambda by 2. We have already derived that in that case. So here we have to add only lambda by 2, which is due to the diffraction of light from the obstacle. Okay. So if you will add it, you will get 2n lambda by 2. Means simply you can say that the condition of minima in case of diffraction is path difference must be equal to even multiple of lambda by 2, or you can also say that integral multiple of lambda, where the value of n is 1, 2 and 3. Since the point O is point of central maxima, so definitely we will get first order minima and second order minima. We will not get any central minima. Okay. So why? As you know that in case of central point, means point O, there is no path difference between the wave. There is no deviation, and they all are in equal path. So I have already told you why the point O is the point of the central maxima. I think that is clear to you, because in that case crust of one wave falls on crust of another, and throw of one wave falls on throw of another. So for n equal to 1 we will get first dark or minimum intensity, and that is called first order minima. For n equal to 2 we will get second order minima and third order minima, and so on. So this is the condition of maxima and minima to get the diffraction pattern at a single slit. And clear? Now we will see what is the diffraction pattern in this case, and what will be the is it same as interference or not, and what will be the fringe width between them. Okay, so let's. So now this is the diffraction pattern of light wave we have obtained in the case of single slit experiment. Okay. So what is the difference of the fringe pattern in the case of interference and diffraction? So there is only one difference, which is intensity distribution of light. In case of diffraction pattern, interference pattern, we have seen that light was equally spaced, light intensity was alternately bright and dark, but there will be no decrement in intensity. They were equally intense. But in this case, light intensity will goes down slow, reducing or decreasing as we go away from the point of central maxima. So definitely if we will travel to the region of geometrical shadow, the intensity will continually goes down, decreasing, and ultimately it will become 0 at some point, and we will not be able to see any other objects presented in that region. Okay. So this is the intensity, and intensity is maximum at central maxima. Actually, sorry for that, but I am not going to prove here how we will get maximum intensity at central maxima or minimum intensity at any other point, and continually how intensity is going decreasing. So sorry for that, but this is the graph between path difference and intensity of bright and dark points, and we will get this in some form. So from this we have seen we see that the width of central maxima is just 2 times to the others. So if you want to calculate fringe width, then definitely it will all again becomes x equal to lambda d by d. you can calculate it from the condition of maxima or minima after putting n equal to 1, n equal to 2 and other things. So definitely if you will get the separation between any two consecutive fringes, then you will get this. So this is the also fringe width for the case of diffraction pattern, which are the same as the interference pattern. So for the central maxima, fringe width will be just 2 times to the fringe width for any bright maxima or for any dark minima. So this will be 2 lambda d by a. So this is the theory of diffraction, in which we have learned the diffraction condition for maxima and minima, and we have seen the intensity and path difference graph here, and what will be the fringe width. So I think this is clear to you. Only to keep one thing in your mind, that if you want to study diffraction, first study about interference, because here all the theories are same. Only one thing is additional, which is the addition of obstacle in the path of light waves, and due to which lambda by 2 additional path difference created. So I think now this is very clear to you. Now let us solve some numerical problem based on the interference and diffraction. So in interference we have studied about maxima and minima, intensities of maxima and minima. So this is problem depends on that. The ratio of intensities at minima to the maxima in Young's double slit experiment is 9:25. Then find the ratio of width of the slits. It's very simple. We have intensity of ratio of intensity of minima and to maxima, and we have to find out simply width of the two slits and the ratio of the width of the slits. Simple. So for this we have one condition. Then width of the slit will be directly proportional to the intensity of light. As you know that according to the width of the slit we get intensity of light. So definitely you can find out this relation from here. As you know that if amplitude of first light wave is A and amplitude of second light wave is B, then definitely what will be I1 by I2? It will be A square upon B square. Okay. So now comes to the condition we have given, which is intensity of minima to the maxima. You can also write it here, intensity of minimum to the intensity of maxima. So as we know that intensity of minima is A minus B whole square, R into A minus B whole square, and intensity of maxima is R into A plus B whole square, and after taking ratio you will get this value, and this is given 9:25. You can solve this equation simply by multiplication, cross multiplication, and you will get A by B from here, which will be 4:1. And you after putting this in equation, we will get simply the width of the ratio of the width of the slit. So I think this is very clear. This is very simple example. Now let's see some more numerical problems. So the next numerical problem is, in Young's double slit experiment, the width of the fringes obtained with light of wavelength 6000 angstrom is 2 mm. Calculate the fringe width of the entire apparatus is when it is immersed in a liquid medium of refractive index 1.33. Means when it is in air, then the fringe width is 2 mm for this wavelength. And if the entire apparatus be immersed in liquid, then what will be the fringe width? We have to calculate that, and the refractive index of that liquid is given. So let's see the solution of this numerical problem. Now let's see the solution of numerical problem I have shown you. Here lambda 1 is 6000 angstrom, means when it is in air, then what was the wavelength? 6000 angstrom, and given that fringe width is 2 mm, and we have also refractive index of liquid 1.33. Then what is the fringe width for apparatus when it is immersed in the liquid of this refractive index? So for this, as we know that mu equal to lambda by lambda 2, so we can find out what will be the wavelength of light in case of when we placed in liquid. So you can calculate it from here, and also you know that what fringe width So fringe width in which d and this t is constant, so definitely there will be change in wavelength only. So this will be the beta 2 equal to lambda 2 d by 2 and d by d, and this is beta 1 equal to lambda 1 d by d. So you can solve it here, beta 2 upon beta 1, which will be lambda 2 by lambda 1. And as we know the value of lambda 2, lambda 1 and beta 1, so we can find out easily beta 2, which will be 1.5 mm. So in this way you can solve simply numerical problems which are based on the formula. And so let's end this wave optics here. Solve the problem. The best for that.